A great meeting point, convenient light meals, hot and cold beverages, or a quick snack on the go? What's your order for the day? We don't just say, we do. It's the Stain City way.
Good afternoon and welcome to Real Talk with me, Anele Mdoda. My guest today is best known for her sincere and emotionally expressive performances. She is one of an outstanding class of actors who are taking the TV industry by storm and has dominated the minute she came onto the scene. She was first introduced to television audiences in 2012, playing the role of domestic worker Anele in the telenovela Nkaba. Her big role came in 2014 after landing a leading role as the matriarch of a gangster family in the SABC One series Uzalo, which, as we all know, is one of the most watched television shows in South Africa. Her list of achievements include Best Actress at the Simon Sabela Awards, a nomination at the Vita Awards, and Best Actress for Peace in the Valley in 2000. She is simply captivating to watch. In her role as Mazette in the gripping series Lockdown, Dawn is an example that patience and hard work pays off in this industry. After fighting an uphill battle to get her foot in the door, we welcome onto our screens, our couch, our life, Dawn Thandeka King. Yay! What a name, right? Like, that's like a name for like ladies and gentlemen, tonight on stage, Dawn Thandeka King. I just want to like see it in lights, right?
Me too. I actually want to see it in lights.
Was that like the psyche behind not going with your husband's surname, Msomi, right?
Yes.
And you both were like, Mara King, babe.
We were standing under a tree and it was raining and we spoke about it and he actually advised me to actually use my maiden surname King when I go into the industry.
Yeah. So this is even before you went into it.
Before.
What a premonition.
Yes. And then I met a life coach who we had one meeting and he said to me, if you ever break it into the industry, please include your middle name, Thandeka.
Yeah.
And so your name will be Dawn Thandeka King, because something happens in the universe when that name is called out.
Nah? Because then you would have been called Dawn King.
Yes, and it's like...
It sounds a little like a reggae star.
Like some boxing
like
manager.
Like a cross between a boxing manager and a reggae star. You know, I'm a Dawn King, man.
Yes, man.
Now, I'm very curious about the King, though. It's your stepdad's surname.
Yes.
Was your stepdad white?
No, he is colored.
Oh,
yeah, so there's a whole lot of blood there inside him.
Okay.
Mixed blood.
Because I was just like, King, maybe it was Nkosi, and he decided to like zhuzh it up, and he went to Home Affairs. He was like, hey, yo, guys, I decided to like, to get in on this.
No, he inherited it just like that. Because of lineage Yakubo. I guess there's white people there, but he came down as...
Don't we all have a little in us?
Yes, yes.
Don't we all? Don't we all? So what's interesting to me is that you say, for as long as you can remember, you've always had the calling to be a performer, right?
Yes.
When was the first time it rang? Were you like, hey, there's something here?
Okay, there are many instances, but I want to... I think when I was at Technicon, when I was actually studying it, and when I received the Best Newcomer Award,
Whoa.
That was, for me, that was like, okay, so this is real. Some people are taking this like for real. And so I studied for 3 years, and all 3 years I got awards for Best Actress. So yeah, that's when it started making sense to me.
Okay, so when you're sitting with your forms for Technicon, right?
Yes.
And you can take IT, quantity surveying, computer science, there's drama, there's engineering. You take drama.
I took the form, I took drama, and that was it. There
That
was
was it.
nothing, because that's all I wanted to do. And I was lucky to have parents that were not like, you can't do this. I was lucky, because they were like, okay, if you want to do this, go on ahead. Yeah.
But it's also so endearing to hear you say that your grandmother would watch TV and be like, these kids, man, you can do that. Eat
Yeah.
that, what? Eat that,
Yeah,
go.
eat that, eat that, you gotta go.
There we go, there we go. So did that, like, that constant affirmation from somebody
Yeah.
who's such a big part of your life?
Yeah, and it's a pity. She passed on in 1988. And that was like way back before she even experienced anything performance-wise that I did. Because she used to see, on television on Sundays when we grew up, there used to be like choral music. Whenever she saw young girls sing, she would see Tati Tati Gakoko singing. Like when she saw young people playing violins, those are the things that she wanted for me. And it was very strange because she's the one that forced me to do extra speech and drama classes. And I was like, why would you want me to do that? It's like, you're going to go there. Because I think she realized that I was somewhat shy.
Yeah.
In as much as people think that I'm very, I'm an extrovert, I'm actually not.
Yeah.
I try to swim when I'm around
there's
people.
water, but
Yeah, but initially I'd rather just keep it here. So she saw that and she just wanted something to get the personality out there.
All right. So how else do you see her coming through? Because, your mom gave birth to you and then you grew up with, and I even, ugogo uMaZulu noBaba uJabulani Mthembu. Those are your grandparents,
Yes.
right? So you grew up with ukhulu, and they raised you and they molded you in Eshowe, right?
Yes.
So as much as then your mom was there, and then your mom got married to your stepdad, and then that's the second wave of molding. But the initial one is your grandparents. When do you catch your grandmother coming out of you like, oh, whoa, that was Gogo?
As I grow older, I'm looking more and more like my mother, who's looking more and more like my grandmother. And there are certain things that I do facially that I'm like, huh? Like, yeah. There's a certain laugh that she had, and I heard myself laugh like that, but then I heard my sister laugh a similar way. I'm like, she's in every one of us.
Oh, that's beautiful, though.
Yeah, but I see her in a whole lot of my cousins, and I see her in a lot of people in my family.
What smell takes you back to her?
Smell.
Yeah.
It's very musky. I don't know what I think it was called Dante. It was in a small red box. It was like perfume.
Yeah.
But I still remember what it smelled like because it was very musky.
Is it the one that used to come in a very thick glass that almost looked like a brandy bottle?
This one was in a small squeeze-like bottle, and it was Dante. Yeah.
Okay, that was that age of perfume.
Yes.
That was that age of perfume.
Well, I guess she was one of the best. And all I remember about her, because she used to love using olive oil. So she used...
Ooh, she was way ahead of her time. Because,
Yes.
I mean, now everyone is like olive oil, olive oil.
So she used oil of Olay, but she also used to like to mix her lotion with olive oil. So she was a big fan of olive oil.
So where did this notion that you're going to be a CEO come from? Because I hear that there was a time when you were in school and you were an achiever and everyone was like, whoa, she's going to be a CEO, this one.
I guess because of my English. I'm also a public speaker. So from...
No, I would never tell.
So from a very early age, I learned to speak English in a very tough manner, where my parents just took me one day and threw me in an all-English speaking school, both my sister and I. And so we just had to swim. First day was a nightmare, and I swore, I was like, by the end of this week,
I will know.
I'm gonna have to have a conversation with somebody. And so I learned to speak English in a very, I don't know
Hostile?
what. Yes.
It's hostile.
And you're going through all these emotions. You're like, clearly I'm not enough if I can't speak this language.
Inadequacy,
Yeah.
but then like it's wanting to be able to say inadequacy. Right? So now you're like, I know exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like,
and then you are surrounded by people with different hair, they're lighter than you are. So you just start feeling very self-conscious. And then there's a lot going on. And I wish our parents understood it the way that we understand it now. The fact that, you need to be there for the child to groom their self-confidence first before you let them out to go out there and mingle with different people.
Sure.
Because it's overwhelming.
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I'm sure you can relate. Listen, stay right where you are. When we come back, we'll talk to Dawn about her big break and how much life has changed since then. We'll be right back.
Namhlanje uzofunda ukuthi ngubani umbungangazi mfazindini. Ngayibona yonke imikhuba yakho wawuyenza. Cabanga ukuthi akuboni. Ufuna ukufaka imithi empahleni zami wahluleka. Ufuna ukungithakatha wangithengela isidwedwe simbi sengubo. Ngabona ukuthi uMamlamba mayiseneyintwala kwakufanele ngabe ezami lezo intwala.
And welcome back to Real Talk. Now, that was a clip of the incredibly successful Uzalo, where my guest today has been causing all sorts of drama since it began on SABC 1. She is Dawn Thandeka King. Does it scare you that you play bad so good?
Hey, it does. It does. It scares me. But that's why it's important to quickly get out of it. You
Do you quickly get out of it?
Run away from that person.
Because I'd pull out that character like in the queue at the bank. If somebody thinks they're starting with me, I'm like, and then you like, you know, you go into it.
I think it's that thing of these are personas that just come out of me and I could never tell you how. It's almost as if I actually shift aside and, well, I understand how it happens.
Yeah.
But I shift aside and then this person comes out. And they just don't hang around after here. They stay here and I go home.
But I suppose if you are giving 100% of it, that you literally give all you have, that you have nothing left. So there's no need for it to come home with you. I think if you were doubting, you know, the execution of it, then it would come home with you in a way,
That
right?
is very true. Very true. Because you would then start asking yourself, was I good? What was, you know, you doubt your own performances and you doubt your own deliverances, and somehow I've learned to just give in and allow the process to just.
What I pick up from you is that you do, I don't know if it's the correct term, but I mean, the little that I listen to my sister when she's speaking about acting, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna use that term. You're a very good vehicle in a scene. Like, so you almost take us, you are the one that takes us from character to character to character with ease.
Oh,
right?
okay.
Like, so even if you're not the main person in the scene, you present the main person in that particular very
scene.
well.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Thank God. All right. Now, is that something that does it come with age? Does it come with training? Does it come with self-comfort that you're okay to not be the starring?
I guess it comes with all of the above, because experience counts. And also, the older you get, the more you realize that you cannot shine in all the scenes. There are scenes when, in as much as you're a lead, you support a supporter. You know, some people are support within the whole scope of Uzalo, and then you support someone that would otherwise other times support you most of the time, but you then sometimes support them because it's their story at that particular point, and you're not leading that story.
How involved are you in that story when it comes to Uzalo? Because I think the one thing that's always spoken is like, yo guys, how do they come? How it that way, ma? Like, Uzalo Anele Xulu, and I'm like, yeah, I did. Oh, ma, and you just like everyone is just so involved. So, and it shows that it's real people writing for real people, which is us. And how involved are you guys then in that execution of the script?
I think we're lucky in that we translate our own scripts from English to Zulu. And the Zulu now is a language that is spoken differently in different parts of different parts of the world, if I may put it that way. So eThekwini, Durban has its own kind of Zulu with its own catchphrases, if I may put it that way. You know, you need to
dialect,
do, you know, yes.
Yeah.
So it's always nice to just throw those in. You know, even when it has been written in a particular manner, we've always been taught that that's just a guideline. But make sure that the character comes through from that dialogue. You mustn't just deliver what is there, but just add your own color, add the personality of the character as well.
So, did this person, this personality, this character, was that person going to work when you were in tourism? Or were you like, you know, the 9 to 5, you know, pinstripe, mind your own business, do your thing, go home?
I think the first job, the tourism job that I got it because I had studied drama. Because this is a cultural village where tourists come to see how Zulu people live. And so they needed people who were going to be very clear when they, you know, take tourists around for tours.
Communication.
Yes, it was very important. And then there was like the Zulu dance where you present it and the dancers come and they dance and you tell the history of the next dance, you know. So they needed someone who was going to be able to be entertaining
as well as deliver the corporate message of what you had to say.
But then I got bored there, and then they saw that, and then they moved me to the sales office. And then again there, I was taken because of my ability to do presentations.
And to convince.
Yes. So I guess it was just there all the time. It was just a frustrating journey.
So when do you see, because you know when people are like, you know, she kicked the door open. People don't realize you don't really kick the door open. You see it open and it's a little light, and you're like, night chance, and then you go in. So that little crack that was open, that shone a little light in, when was that?
Look, throughout corporate, it was just here. I wasn't happy. Yes, I was working. I'm grateful for the fact that I was working, but I was just not doing this one thing that I really wanted to do, and the only thing that I wanted to do. And so in 2005, I crashed. Depression presented itself into my life, and I crashed. I couldn't do anything. My mind I burnt out.
Did you know you were depressed?
I kind of figured because it felt like I was helpless. I didn't want to get up. I didn't want to, I was crying the whole time. I just didn't want to go to this place that was making me miserable anymore. So my work had become a trigger.
Yeah.
And so
Sunday nights you get a headache.
Yeah.
You in a bad mood.
And then on the Monday, I just couldn't get up. And so I went, luckily at that point in time, I already had a psychologist because I had to go for a couple of other counseling sessions before, but that was before this big crash.
Yeah.
And then I was hospitalized because they were like, well, this is the part where we actually take you to hospital because you need psychiatric help. And yeah, and I was there for a week or 2 weeks. You know, when you get there, I was just lying there on the bed. I didn't want to talk. There's just a shutdown.
Yeah.
Where you just feel, I don't even know how to help myself. I would love to actually get up and smile and be my normal self, but I cannot do it.
And I don't know how to tell you to help me.
Yes.
I don't know where to point, but
I don't know whether
you
you understand that I just can't do it. You might see me all whole together, like there's nothing bleeding, but I am finished inside.
I'm in pieces. You are a communicator because you put me there. Listen, we are going to go and pay some bills. We'll speak to Dawn more about her music as well after this. She sings. You know she sings. I didn't know that. This is Real Talk. You're still watching Real Talk right here on SABC3, where the stage is yours. I have the lovely opportunity to probe the woman behind the complex characters we so enjoy on our television screens. Now, I want to talk to Dawn, Thandeka King. You can't just say Dawn, full thing. It's like a sentence, you know what I'm saying? It's like George Clooney. It's not George, it's George Clooney. Dawn Thandeka King, about her roles away from the TV screen, like being a mother to 5 children. Like, okay. Now, my cry is, I didn't even know you were 38 I thought you were like 26, maybe going on 27. So like,
I've actually turned 40 already. I turned 40 this year.
Okay. Okay, so then 27. All right. So, like, I promise you, and I was like, how? This person, oh, all right, okay. But then it made sense when you said you spent 11 years in corporate, because unless you started working at 12, then like the numbers the numbers didn't make sense. They didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So mother to 5 kids, had a daughter. You're like, let me try for a son. Had a daughter. Hey, let me try for a son. Had a daughter. Hey, let me try. Thank God the first one was a son, because you would have a soccer team now that could qualify for the World Cup. You know, you guys will be going to Russia next year. Like,
We would be going.
you guys, not us, you know, not our guys. You guys, walk me through that. How is it? Like, paint the household for me.
Oh, Lord. That household now, look, they've all become my very best friends in their individual selves. They play different roles in my life because they communicate to me differently. My firstborn, she's somewhat of a bully. Her name is Jadine.
Okay.
She wants to be a fashion blogger. And so now I need to find out about what, and yeah.
Is she putting these together for you? Because you're doing the things.
Well, she would approve of this.
Okay, all right.
So yes, and then my daughter Jada is going to NSA next year. So she's the next actress in the family. And so she's very much wanting to open a talk show on YouTube with her friends.
Okay,
so we are being told to subscribe to that.
All right.
And then my thirdborn, Jade, is a middle child. So she's an overachiever. So she always wants to be good at what she does.
Yeah.
This is a child who does homework today for today and tomorrow's homework today type of child. And then we've got Jadeja, my fourth daughter. She's just here. She worms her, she's the hugger, she's the, you know, she wants to make sure mommy's okay. When I'm on the couch, she just wants to lie here. Yes, she's there. But then when I'm not there, apparently she's very feisty.
Okay. And then Jaden?
And Jaden, oh my gosh, he is just my boy.
Yeah.
He's, you know, when I don't even know how to express anything about him, because he's just that boy that I always wanted to have, and then I have him.
Yeah.
And he's a special boy. And also the day he came, the day before I delivered him, his aunt passed on. So I always say there was this.
She passed, he came.
Yes.
And it was fine.
Yes.
The entire thing.
Fine. It was horrific how it happened, but eventually somehow life needs to make sense. So that household is crazy. It's got 2 teenagers and 3
bubbling unders.
They are tiring, but they're beautiful, and I love spending time with them when I'm here because I work and I live in Durban.
But they live in Joburg.
Yes. But when we see each other, it's like we've got to make the most of it. And then we talk on the phone most of the time. We video call. We WhatsApp now because the big sisters are now on WhatsApp with me, and we've got a group.
Okay, all right, because you work in Durban.
Yes, so communication has got to be just.
It has to be everything, because you still need to be part of, like the molding I was talking about earlier with your parents and your grandparents. You still have to be that person.
I still have to do it.
Molding them.
Telephonically, I parent telephonically.
I like your approach to parenting. It's like there's nothing perfect here. We're raising love. That's it.
And I think that's the one thing I'm grateful for, the fact that I feed them love and they feed it right back. And in that house, it's just beautiful. There is no perfect household.
Ever, though, ever.
But we're just beautiful the way we are.
So do they have your music? Do they listen to your music?
Well, with my music, I have not recorded. I'm still enjoying live performances. I know some people would say, but why, don't why? Because when they come and they see me perform, they're like, but what do we take home? I'm like, but my music is forever evolving, because my music is part of my calling.
Yes, okay.
So
okay.
when I went through the calling, my music came, and it used to drive me crazy because there's a song in my ear, and I just didn't know what to do. I remember there were times when, I'm glad my friend Joel is here, he will remember there were times where I was like, Joel, I don't know, do I need to record? I don't know, because music just kept on, I'll be sitting in the bathtub, there's a song, So then I realized, no, just take it easy, just write them down. When there's an opportunity to perform, but don't rush into anything. And I've grown as a musician, and I still don't want to be rushed to record anything. I'd rather record a live DVD, like a DVD of a live performance rather, because I always feel it's like a consultation. It's like I'm healing people through my music, and I just don't ever want to see it or hear it commercially. It's something so sacred and so, for me, and it's just, for now, it's just a place where I go and just I feed myself as well through performing, and I also feed other people.
But girl, do you know how much money we could make? And I'm saying we because, I like me a good deal. Like, because, hey, the type of music you do, indigenous music, it sells, right? It sells. And if there's one thing about my Zulu people, yay. Baya is Thanda, it's like, okay?
Yes.
So, I mean, I just feel like you're sleeping on our Rolls Royce.
Well, we'll get there. We'll get there.
Please don't take your time. Take your time, please, but don't take your time.
Okay.
Like, I'm waiting because my 10%. Like, that's all I'm here for. That's all I'm here for.
I get it.
And it must be such an advantage to be such a great actress and then get on stage and be able to have that calling come through you, but then also know how to use your body to communicate.
Yes.
It is unfair. Like, I'm not happy right now. I am not happy right now. But all in all, so is there like a scene from like a movie, right, that every time you watch it, it just always reignites your passion for what you do?
Sister Act, I'm not sure that's
Which,
one or two.
One or two. I'll know. I know it off by. Tell me.
I will follow him.
Sister Act 1, the end.
Follow him wherever he may go.
Ooh.
There isn't an ocean too deep, a mountain so high it can keep me away.
I was. And then,
so that's it.
I follow. I'm gonna follow.
Yeah.
My true love. He'll always be my true love forever. Okay.
Yeah,
I hear you.
That's the
all
one.
right.
And that's the thing. Whoopi Goldberg was just. I remember when I was at boarding school, I had in my locker I had a picture
She's everything.
of Whoopi.
Yeah.
So every time I opened, I was like, this is not necessarily who as in person, but this is where I want to be.
Yeah. And I mean the fact that you're so versatile in what you do, so is she. She's a talk show host. She's a comedian. She's a musician. She's an actress. She's a stage actress. I mean, she's got a Grammy, an Oscar, a Tony, and an EGOT, Emmy, a Golden Globe.
Wow.
Yeah, one of 10 people in the world who has that. So you picked a good one. You stand for a good one. You keep it up. And we'll wait for all of those achievements from you then, right?
Yes, indeed.
Dawn Thandeka King, thank you for your time.
Thank you so much.
It's been bliss, like you're just relaxing, right? When you have the X Factor, you just got it and no one can dim your shine. So stay right where you are. When we come back, some of the cast of the all-new King Kong, the musical, will join me in studio. You don't want to miss that.
I guess it really started sometime, I think it was 1956 or 57. Clive, my husband, who died some years ago, came home. He just had a lunch with Todd Mkhize in one of the very few places in Johannesburg where you could meet across the colour bar. And he came in and said, "Darling, we're going to write a musical." And I said, interesting.
My name is Esme Machikiza. I am the widow of Todd Machikiza, who wrote the music for King Kong.
We had a vision of doing the definitive African musical show, and we did a bit of research, and we sat down and wrote a very, very rough outline.
And welcome back to Real Talk on SABC3. The stage is yours. Speaking of stages, King Kong the musical tells the story of a 1950s heavyweight boxing champion, Ezekiel Dlamini, whose self-appointed ring name was King Kong. The original musical was first presented in South Africa in 1956, and the production played to over 250,000 South Africans before transferring to London's West End, darling. This was a breakthrough in the history of South African theatre and the performance arts. With me now are Joel Zuma and given Mkhize, here to chat about their experiences in reconstructing this iconic piece of theatre that launched the careers of the likes of Mirriam Makeba, Hugh Masekela, just to name a few. King Kong is now on at the Fugard Theatre in Cape Town until February the 2018. February the 2018th. Wow. Okay. Welcome, guys. Welcome, Given. Welcome, Joel.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yo, Joel, I try to Google you every time Babu Zuma comes up. Your surname must
Yeah.
every time. And then I'm like, no, not because now it's Jay Zuma, right?
Yeah.
So you there.
I know.
And then I'm like, no, I don't want to speak to the commander-in-chief. I want to talk about Joel. What has Joel done, though? And no, don't laugh, Mr. Given Mkari. Okay? Because Given Mkhize as well. Then I get Given Mkari, hey, radio station owner. I'm like, no.
No, not that
I'm looking for this.
Yes, I'm not there yet. Just not. Give me a couple of years. I'll be Googleable.
Steady. So now you guys, you get on stage and you are, reconstructing this iconic piece, Kevin. Does somebody in the production team, in the ownership team say, let's not be the cast to mess this up?
Yeah. Yo, speaking of, I think the pressure this time around to bring the play back, because I think it's been over like a couple of decades before when it was done. So I think everybody coming into the process was very cautious about making sure that we tell the story truthfully, but also just make it relevant for a time that is now, like a 2017, because it's a major work, having it been the first South African musical as well.
And I mean, to show to that many people at that time, in the country as well, it's no small feat.
It was crazy. We were all like, remember before opening, we were just like, guys, we are actually the people who are bringing King Kong back to life.
Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
But now, is there, okay, on top of the pressure to, to not be the cast, because they'll be like, well, the 2017 cast, the King Kong, they're the ones who change things, whatever. Kids will be studying about you in 40 years' time. It's like, and when in 2017 there was a decline, right? On top of that pressure, you said something. Now, Joel, is there a pressure to make it 2017, although it's a story that was written in 1956?
Look, you've got to be aware of the audience that you are catering to. So while it's a tricky one, because you want to be very true to the story.
Yeah.
You want to. There's people who are alive who came to see King Kong and said, I saw it in whatever, and who came to us. It was really sweet. I remember having a lengthy conversation with and he was like, I saw the first one, I still remember, So you want to be true to those people because they know exactly what to expect. But at the same time has changed. It's 60 years later, so you've got to infuse some form of relevance. It needs to still be contemporary, and it mustn't sound too strange to people who are in 2017. Yeah.
You just took my mind. My mind's crazy. When someone is alive and they were there for the original thing. Yeah. So like somebody who was alive in World War II and then they go watch Pearl Harbor. They're like, nope, that's not how it happened.
That's not how it happened. I don't remember it happening like that.
Sit down. This is how it actually went down. So for you, would you say that this is, for you, given your moment in your career? Like we said earlier, there's still going to be a lot of moments, right? But is this the one where even you must prove yourself to yourself?
Absolutely. Coming into the process, my thing was, as a young actor in South Africa, joining other seasoned actors in the cast. That alone is just like, you look around, like there's Joel Zuma, There's Anele Mdoda who plays King Kong.
Who wasn't he in Lion King as well?
He played
Japan.
Simba, everywhere actually. He played it in London,
in New York, I believe.
Broadway. Like these are people who have been around, and he has little old Kevin going. It's like there's a lot of pressure when it comes to that. But I think what I appreciate the most about being part of the show was that they were very accommodating in terms of allowing me to be a professional, a young professional. Obviously, you need to learn from them. They're very, very collaborative as well in terms of how they approach scenes. You know, when you work with someone who's seasoned and you're like, ooh, they're like, no, chill, dude. Let's take it easy.
We are both new this time.
We are both new this time. You know, this is new for both of us, and so we need to build that instead of you going, okay, they're very, very collaborative people, and I'm very appreciative and grateful for the fact that I'm working particularly with these sets of actors.
But in simple terms, basically, you're saying we are collaborative, but old.
Zuma, you said it, not me. You're the fossil.
So I'm working with a bunch of geriatrics here. It's like pension month up here, but it's fine.
I tease them all the time.
Really?
I really do. I'm like, Zuma, this is for old people. It's age before beauty.
It's like, I'm going to talk louder for the old people. So, what do you remember about your auditioning process?
What do I remember about it? You know what? I remember that I enjoyed it.
Is that rare for you that you enjoy an audition?
No, I generally enjoy musical theater auditions because I like an opportunity to act and sing at the same time. I'm just like, okay. So what song must I sing? Okay. I had fun.
This is fun.
And then it left, and then I thought the show wasn't happening. It was happening. It wasn't happening. It's been hard to bring the show back. And then 3 months later, they're like, yeah, we're still interested. Are you interested? I was like, really? That show? Yeah, cool. Bring it on. I'm there.
Do you have a go-to song when you audition for musicals?
Do I ever?
Like a go-to song, like a short bit?
Yeah.
Are you going to be giving away state secrets if you tell us what the song is?
No, it's just my favorite song, Try a Little Tenderness by The Commitments.
Oh.
I love it because it's got everything within the song.
The one
so
where Jay-Z and Kanye sampled for Otis.
Yes, I love that song.
You show off.
Because it's got it starts so gentle. It's such a gentle story, but it's so wide. Because it starts, she may be weary, young girls do get weary, and then it gets to, got to try a little tenderness. You know, I like the feel of the song.
Yeah, but that's unfair. That's like us fighting over classic songs that I bring Whitney Houston, I Always Love You. Of course, everyone thinks that's a class. No, that's unfair.
Yeah, I love
but
it.
Look, it gets you the roles. Do you ever go to song?
I'm not a fossil.
No, don't. The fact that Jay-Z and Kanye use that song makes it like, leave these kids alone.
No, man. One of my favorite songs I've always heard on the radio for some reason is a song by Mirriam Makeba, Nkilo Nkilo. Devil is well da kangela da sondela la lisicho lisiti kili kilo
You're also cheating because Mirriam Makeba was in King Kong. So now all the producers are like,
they're just like, oh my, he gets it.
You guys are a bunch of sneaky people. Listen, more on King Kong, the musical, with actors giving him carreer and Jacob Zuma. After this, stay with us. Welcome back to Real Talk right here on SABC3. The stage is yours. So we're almost at the end of today's show, but I still have a little bit of more time with the King Kong, the iconic, the historical musical cast, given Mkhize and Joel Zuma are here. So here's the thing, and I know this is difficult, right? Because you want to be like, no, the entire thing is brilliant, but I'm going to have to ask you to take a magnifying glass and put it on one. Let's say I really need to go to the loo.
Yeah.
When do you suggest I not go to the loo? Like, at which point in this musical that's currently on, are you like, girl, rather wee on yourself? You don't want to miss this?
Joyce is the Shabin queen in King Kong.
Played by?
She's played by Edith Blakis.
Okay.
She's new to the role. She's taking over from Unondumi Sotema.
Okay.
She was part of the cast, but she upgraded. Obviously, people move on. The news had to leave. But that's the moment where you get to see what made the iconic name household Mirriam Makeba.
Oh,
that's the moment where we, as an audience, we get introduced to the diamond really of the show, because I mean obviously Joyce is a love interest for King Kong.
Yeah.
But her moment when she comes through, you don't want to miss that, because people are like, did you hear? You were like, no, I went. No, you don't want to hear that person. You also want to be like, Joyce, Joyce. You know, it's a stunning character. Really, I feel like that's for me. I would never want to miss that moment.
Mr. Zuma?
For me, there's so many fantastic moments. It's so hard. I guess for me, the boxing fight, you know, because they just, you know, it's the combination of, you know, choreography and the real boxing and the acting all within one ring.
Yeah.
We literally pull out a ring on stage.
So
it comes
like
out of nowhere.
beautiful chaos.
Yeah, it's a beautiful chaos, and it really gives you an insight of who King Kong was and who he then becomes. I think if you missed that, you would have missed a very important part of the show. Yeah. And
I know, you know, you're not supposed to base any of you on this, but when it comes to theatre, reviews are everything.
Yeah.
You know, well, not everything, but they're like a big part of what everything is.
Absolutely.
And the reviews came out, and it was 5-star, and like there was, do you know what I noticed? There was no one dropping the ball. You know, usually be like, oh, it was great. Pity about.
You
know, there was no one dropping the ball. Like, when you get those reviews, what does the cast do? Do you guys have a quiet moment and say, thank you, God? Do you got to celebrate? Are you climbing Table Mountain? You be like, we are the kings of the world. What happens? What's the celebration?
That's kind of the feeling we have inside. Obviously, you don't want to play with it. Yo, did you see it?
Did you see?
Hey, we are the shit. Oh, wow.
Carry on.
Anyways, but yeah, the shiz.
That's what you say.
The shiz.
Yes.
But it's very comforting to know, obviously with the pressures of the show, having been done by such stunning legends that have come before us. But it's daunting at times, because you're just like, what if I'm tired? You know, what if I don't give my best? But you kind of have to every time, because someone who reads the review, hasn't seen the show, wants to go, okay, I want to go see a show. Maybe that day we're particularly tired because we've had a long run of shows.
Or 2 shows a day.
Or 2 shows a day, you know, when it's one of those things. But yeah.
And is there pressure? Because, you know, the one thing about theatre is you constantly have to sell tickets, guys. You have to get bums and seats.
Absolutely.
Is the pressure on your end when you like, when you feel like we're not selling tickets? Because, you know, for me, I feel like it's a marketing thing. Like you do your job by being the best you can be on stage. So it's ideally that role is for marketing, but we also live in a world where you can't say that's not my job description. So do you put a little pressure on yourself to put bums on seats?
Well, first of all, I mean, I don't think there can be one party that can say I'm not involved in. You know, we've got a great marketing team. We've got basically King Kong's got a huge creative team, of course, marketing team. But us as well, part of the reason we got the roles is because we've got some form of profile, some form of following. So we push on social networks and whatever. We feel the need to. I also, sometimes, because King Kong is so good, I feel bad for someone who misses it. I want someone to see it, because I know for a fact when you come out, you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't know. So I feel like I wish people knew what they are missing if they don't come to see it. It's that kind of show.
Come see it.
You got to.
But was it in Joburg? Then went to Cape Town. Is it coming to Joburg?
So we had a run. We opened it again in Cape Town, and then we came to Joburg for the run, and then we have a return season in Cape Town. We open on the 12th of December. Till next year, 18th.
February 18th.
I think I'll just have to catch it in Cape Town then.
Absolutely.
Please do so.
I just don't want to go to Cape Town because you guys don't have water, and I don't want to be that person who's there taking the water.
You know, like I'm also very
do you know what I'm saying? Like, I was there the other day, I literally showered for 20 seconds. I'm like, I don't want to be a burden. You know, I don't want to be none of that. It's fine, I'll come and I'll bring my own water.
Bring your own water.
Okay? I'll swallow my spit if I get parched. Before we go, the beauty of musicals is they can always be reinvented, they can always come back. You know, there is a musical out there and there is a role that you're dying to play, and because you are a theatre person, you know exactly what that role is. What is it?
Ooh, that is a difficult one. I think I'm going to go out and say Simba in Lion King.
Okay.
Just because it's also like a very, it's a nostalgic musical. It's been around forever.
It feels like it's ours as well,
But
right?
that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
The music, even you know, the composers, there's a great element of African and South African particularly about Lion King. And I feel like maybe one day, once I'm ready, Lion King will be, as Simba, will be a role that I'd like to play.
I'm trying to think of like a typical Simba line in The Lion King that I want you to practice.
Pleasure.
I know, right? Every time I think Simba, all I hear is Mufasa. You never really hear Simba.
Mufasa is like, well, then he's supposed to be.
And then he dies.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler alert if you watch Lion King. Okay, I'll come back to you. Talk to me.
Funny enough, look, I've been lucky. I've played quite a lot of roles I've wanted. Like Othello was one of them. I wanted to play Othello.
Oh, nice.
And I did. And a few others. You know, my chest is not big enough for King Kong. But I played a lot of nice roles there. But I think Mufasa for me.
Oh, there we go.
Lion King again.
There we go. Okay, you can tell me about like Simba. Everything the light touches belongs to us.
Belongs to us. My favorite scene, I think, I love that too.
Yeah.
But I think I've even auditioned for Lion King a few times.
Yeah.
They said I wasn't old enough, so I'm still coming. I'm getting there.
See, that age is coming in handy now.
Simba, I told you not to go there. You deliberately disappointed me.
Yes, you deliberately betrayed. Yes, I remember that.
Killed.
You could have been killed. Okay, when you guys get these roles, please tell them that I'm more than willing, ready and able to play a hyena.
Yes, girl. Yes, girl.
Okay,
Yes, I see it.
right?
I see it.
What? Say it again, say it again. I'm telling you, I've been practicing. It's me. I'm ready for it. Okay. Just like, you know, if you haven't cast the hyenas, we know someone. Also, King Kong is on now at the Fugard. I think people must come watch, you guys. If this is anything to go by, it's an amazing production.
Certainly. I mean, it's definitely, it's on until February 18. Please, people, they just mustn't wait until the last week of February. Lord, come now.
Because everyone's going to come on Valentine's Day.
I mean, last time it was sold out like easily 4 weeks before it was already sold out. So I think the best time is to come now.
Okay, you heard them. You heard them. What a great show of excellence, right? Thank you so much to Thandeka King. Catch her on SABC One's Uzalo, and then to the cast of the all-new King Kong, the musical, on now at the Fugard Theatre in Cape Town until February 2018. A real treat for the entire family. Make sure that you go see this theatre spectacle. From myself and the team, till next time, bye.